might mention once again that I want to reemphasize that we just want Indiana to get on board and be an active player, and especially Northeast Indiana. All of us in this part of the state know all the energy and all the money that go into the funnel in Indianapolis to build infrastructure in there, and I won't go into any more detail about all that, but we want to make sure that Indiana is working as hard as Illinois, Michigan, Ohio to bring passenger rail here and to be part of a Midwest regional system. We also want to make sure that Northeast Indiana, as part of that picture, is a player when this happens in Fort Wayne, as it begins to happen more and more around the Midwest. And that, a lot of that depends, I think we've talked about a lot of work events, a lot of that depends on our state reps and state senators in Northeast Indiana. We've got a lot of good people here. We've been working together more and more the last few years. We've talked with all of them, believe me. We've talked with the governor, we've talked with the mayor, we've talked with our congressmen, we've talked with the senators. We just want, especially the state legislators in Northeast Indiana, to work hard for rail for this part of the state.
What would be the travel time from Fort Wayne to Chicago?
I don't want to hog everything. I basically, you know, these trains could well go 100 miles an hour, so maybe 2 to 3 hours would be feasible, something like that. You know, right into downtown Chicago. We just got wind recently of a woman who was talking to somebody in Fort Wayne, and she works in the mayor's office in Chicago, and she lives in Gary. This tells you a bit about what train can do. She works in Chicago every day. She hops the train, rides into Gary, and rides back. Gary's a lot closer to Chicago than we are, but if somebody had business in Chicago or Cleveland, or maybe other points like Cincinnati, some of those dotted lines run a line from here to a line down towards Cincinnati, and it'd be possible to go there, your business, hop the bus, hop the cab, whatever. You don't have to rent a car, get your work done, jump in the train, relax while you're on the train, do some work, snooze a little bit, not be gnashing your teeth over traffic jams, and come back to Fort Wayne at the end of the day or maybe the next day.
Have you had any direct talks with the city of Fort Wayne regarding any possible public monies, incentives?
I would say that Mayor Henry and several council members are actively assisting us. Right now we haven't even requested dollars from them, other than in the back of my mind would certainly be some aspects of this, maybe changing a road or a street or parking around this area that might involve dollars. It's really bigger than that now. It's like a national, especially Midwest scenario. We want to be part of the big picture in the Midwest with that dotted line and some funding from the $8 billion new federal dollars. Even a small portion of that could really help us out a lot. I know Mayor Henry's been very gracious. Back in March 26th of last year, we had an event at Indiana Tech, the fastest train in the world. We're not talking about that here, but we showed a train that went over 350 miles per hour in France on the TGV line. And Mayor Henry stood up and said, "You don't need to lobby me about this. I'm a total supporter of passenger rail for Fort Wayne," and he is actively helping us out, and we appreciate that.
How does CityLink feel? Fred, I've heard you talk about it before. How do you feel about supporting rail? Do you think it would complement what you're doing at CityLink?
Yes, I do very much. We've made a contribution to this organization to try and help it get going. We look forward to connecting with it so that you can take a city bus from your front door or the corner here to downtown Fort Wayne and get on a train to go to the East Coast or the West Coast or Chicago. CityLink owns the property immediately east of this building, across Harrison Street, between Harrison and Calvin, that fronts on Baker. It used to be the Baker Street Station. We've maintained ownership of that property. And I would hope to see, I think that our view is that if rail, not just when rail returns, rail passenger service returns, we're going to be connected across the street so that you're going to have that kind of connect between the city transit service and intercity right there. So we are very much in this support. It's a complementary kind of a relationship. We want to be able to connect with intercity bus and intercity rail, and eventually the airport as well, when our funding allows for it. But right now the key is to get here, we're a gap, we're a hole. And that needs to happen in order for anything else to go forward in terms of bringing passenger rail service back to Fort Wayne. Ohio's way along. Lima's chomping at the bit to have us move. They want to run rail service through Lima and Fort Wayne and running east and west. So we've got support all around. We're hoping to see it move.
We'll stand here all afternoon. We love it, except for maybe Jeff. We have a really minor in a wheelchair.
I may pass out, but it's okay.
We love to talk about this stuff. I think it's all like, rail is real. It's saying more and more recently. I think it can all happen. By the way, we talked about 1/10 of fuel utilization per passenger mile. We talked about jobs, not just SDI, but there are other jobs, and property values often go up. For instance, in this region, that would generally tend to happen if there was rail coming through here. And one thing that we haven't mentioned is, I think it's talked about a lot, depending on the day or the week of the month, is national security. All aircraft came out of the sky on 9/11, that it would be possible, although there's potential security problems with rail also, that rail can haul a lot of goods, people, when aircraft can't fly for one reason or another. So it's just having the redundancy of different modalities, whether it's highway, rail, or air, all available, helps protect the community from the security viewpoint as well. Okay, appreciate everybody being here. Thanks.